Morning, everybody. Today we've got the space on AI meets blockchain. It's going to be with Rad TV and treechat. These guys are doing cutting edge technology built on chain media and video media and also social media through basically the way I understand it is that you can actually like content, lock content. So basically you're preserving your energy when you're going on social media by actually identifying what you spend money. You spend money like microcents, micropayments on what you like with content, as opposed to just a free like and it just maybe it's paid through advertisers. This is actually through micropayments. All right, so it's going to be all on the X space tomorrow. We're going to do the COPA contempt hearing with Craig Wright.
Did unless it's peer to peer basically, like what we discussed the other day with the on the other space with the exchanges like Orange Gateway and DXS. They themselves showed you the benefits of why BSV exchanges are better, I suppose.
Yeah. Dude, so this is great, man. Well, thanks. You're really the inspiration here for helping to set this up. So I greatly appreciate it. And I would be much obliged if you would do a introduction here to the platforms is how you kind of want to see this run. So I'm happy, happy to yield to you, Scott, and tell me a little bit about maybe do an introduction here.
Well, I'm just, I think like myself, like the rest of the community, I love tuning into your spaces, Gavin. You've always got sort of people on the cutting edge of BSV speaking about the new technologies that are coming out. And recently, it's just been stuck in my mind about AI. It seems like there's been a big push from Google, there's been a big push with all of these other companies talking about AI. And the thing that really sort of stood out to me is, what how can AI work better with blockchain? Because it seems there's been discrepancies in the court case as well, where certain cases have been filed as hallucinations from AI, but yet they seem to be actual real cases. And so I just wanted to sort of find some people in the BSV space who were well versed in the AI, and see how they feel the future is going to be for AI and blockchain. A lot of people are worried about AI. Is it going to take over the world? And a lot of people are really excited about AI and see the benefits of what it can do. It's a tool for humankind. So I wanted to find some cool people who are in the BSV space using BSV technology to just sort of pick their brains really and find out what are they doing, how are they using BSV, and why is their product better than other products that aren't using blockchain for the usage of AI.
Yeah. And let me respond since you mentioned the court case really just momentarily on that as well, regarding the AI stuff, because Craig did he filed looks like a challenge yesterday, or he filed something. I don't know what exactly the filing was, but he definitely filed some sort of a challenge or a brief. And he mentioned how the Court of Appeal has brought up that he was using AI hallucinated cases. And then he provided those cases to the court of to the court saying, look, it's just more signs that this court hates me and they're colluding against me. I mean, why would they? Because it's not you can't change that. When the Court of Appeal says, oh, a guy used a fake case, it's like it hurts your reputation, especially if it's not true. So he's provided the case now that he did cite and was actually an accurate case. So apparently it was Judge Arnold that was using AI to read the cases and it wasn't accurate. Yeah, so it's the world we're living in. So nice. Yes. So Miss Casey Nicole, you looked into the this as well with Tree Chat and AI or and Rad TV, and did you have any comments that you wanted to?
Well, I remember Rad TV being on the London Blockchain Conference stage, so I definitely wanted to connect with them and see what they've been up to since that conference and how everything's progressed. And then Tree Chat, I think, is really interesting. I just haven't figured out how to actually get on there and play around yet. Or I can figure it out. I just haven't actually done it yet. But I love seeing that Twitch lives on and appreciate them for that. So yeah, let's dive in.
Okay, let's do it. Nice. So then why don't we start with Rad TV and we can start there. And I know I actually been to a couple conferences whether it was London or Dubai. I think I seen Rad TV there on stage at both of those events, I think. So I remember that. So yeah, I don't know who is it with Rad TV that we have on stage?
Hi, everyone. My name's Cameron. I'm head of community at Rad TV, and thank you for having us on stage today. Excited to talk about everything blockchain and everything Rad TV is doing. Happy to answer any questions y'all have, and excited for the chat. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Cameron. Nice. Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, it looks like why don't you just maybe give us a little breakdown on what Rad TV's all about, on-chain streaming platform and monetization, for those who are completely new to it.
Absolutely. Rad TV's on-chain streaming platform. We have apps on every device live today, not part of our roadmap. iOS, Apple TV, Apple Vision Pro, iPad, of course, for iOS. We're on all PlayStation devices, PS4, PS5, PSVR, PSVR2. We're on Quest. We're on smart TVs, Android, Android Mobile, Chromecast. We just rolled out Amazon Fire app, and we're working on Roku and Vizio apps at the moment. So footprint is ginormous. We've been in business over 10 years. We're on billions of devices. We don't like to put a number on it, but last time we did the math, it was over like 6 billion devices or something that Rad TV is accessible on globally. No geo restrictions unless a creator requests it or a partner requests it. We support every type of video content. We really are a next gen streaming platform, not just traditional content. We support VR. We support holograms. We support everything immersive, 180, 360, volumetric video, even in our creator studio. So creators can come to Rad TV right now, monetize day one, earn 33% more than they do on YouTube. And you can start monetizing on chain right now without spending any money. If you use BSV on Rad TV, you go to radtv.com, create a channel. All you need is a hand cash wallet and you're off. You can start selling things right now. No fees to you. Rad TV pays fees on BSV on both sides for buyers and sellers. We just launched our creator portal about 4.5 months ago or so, and we've seen a massive amount of creators that are utilizing AI tools to create incredible content. If you go to radtv.com right now on your mobile or desktop computer, no ads, one click to watch everything, and you can watch right now without an account. So I encourage you to go check it out. And if you want to follow and start engaging with some creators, create an account, and you're off to the races.
So when you say
That
creators, I kind of think like YouTube. I mean, but what
Yep,
is it?
yep.
What is it like? I mean, yeah, if you could.
So yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. So we, as I said, we opened up what we call our creator studio, and we, for a long time as creators ourselves, we've watched the video industry and streaming industry kind of consolidate into what we all, many of us on this X space, I would anticipate, remember as cable. Like we watched all these streaming platforms break off, and now they're all kind of coming back together, and like there's packages of things and everything is so gate kept. We have people that we're talking with right now about distributing major documentaries and things on Rad TV that people here know the names of the people making these products. And we enable creators and studios to come into Rad TV right now without having to shop for a deal through a publisher. No more having to get it picked up by Amazon. No more having to get it picked up by Netflix or Paramount or HBO or whoever, Apple. You come to Rad TV right now with your content. You distribute it day one and monetize day one. And our back end wallet splits on blockchain allow you to pay your entire team at the point of sale. So you can add up to 100 wallets in the back end on Rad TV for your monetization. So you can add, the writer, producer, cinematographer, a marketing team, any collaborators that you've worked with. You input a nickname for their address, you put in their address, and then you put in a percentage of the sale that person, that wallet will receive. and then everything's taken care of for you. So now it's available on every device, in every living room, on every big screen, on gaming consoles. Like, we're literally putting blockchain and Web3 content on every device in the world today. This isn't our roadmap. This isn't a game plan. This isn't some pipe dream. This is available right now on every single device. And any creator or any studio that wants to distribute their content globally can do so right now without restrictions at radtv.com. So anybody can come in. When we say creators, we mean from the bottom creator that's just getting started today to the very tip top. And we are partnered with Sony. We're partnered with Disney. They are two of the earliest investors in Rad TV. And, you know, we have some major plans for 2025, and we're not going to let the cat out of the bag totally today, but we're integrating more blockchains. We have a bunch of tools coming online that are going to help creators earn more. And that's really our whole goal. Our goal right now is to get out of the way for creators. We feel like creators have been stifled and that the industry has put up a lot of barriers and roadblocks to creators being able to move freely and monetize freely. And especially now with the AI censorship that's happening, we think these are just the next generation of tools, and that we're kind of figuring this all out together. And there's people that are, you know, banging the gavel and cracking a whip on these creators that are, you know, keep this content out of here. We just had a conversation the other day about all the check boxes YouTube and Instagram and everybody is adding. Does this contain AI? Is this make something look real that isn't real? That's what content is. All content makes things look real that isn't real. Like every clip of audio you've ever heard, pretty much for every movie, is 90+% ADR, which means automated dialogue replacement. That thing that you're watching didn't actually happen. It is a made up fictional thing that took many pieces coming together to make it look like a real event occurred. And that's good acting, that's good cinematography, it's a good producer, it's good script, it comes all these things come together in one cohesive piece. And now these platforms are getting a little nervous about, you know, what truth looks like and the way information is presented. And we feel like this is just a growing pain for the music industry. I mean, for the video industry, the same way the music industry had it in the late 90s and early 2000s. And we think we're about to see an explosion of content like the world has never seen before. And we don't think we have the answers. We think no one has the answers to this space at the moment. We are literally all learning this together, and we couldn't be more excited about what AI is bringing to the forefront of entertainment. And then you partner that with blockchain, and it is game over for the old ways of Hollywood. It is all the powers back in the hands of creators, and we're excited to be a part of that.
Cameron, so it sounds like you're talking about doing a peer-to-peer, like creator to fans
Absolutely.
media
Yep.
platform.
Yep, that's what we
And
have today. It's straight connection. So you come in, connect with your fans. You don't even have to surface your content on Rad TV if you choose not to. You can just keep it between you and your fans, and nobody even sees a channel on Rad TV. It's totally up to the
private
creator.
channel.
Yep.
So you can upload your content there. Do you upload it to Rad TV? Is that how it
Yep.
works? Yeah.
Yeah, you come to Rad TV, create an account, free account. Everything is free for creators. We don't charge anything, and to monetize, you don't need any money either. Everything's totally free. You go to radtv.com, sign up for a free account, and you can watch 50 plus live streaming TV channels. Tons of on-demand content growing every day. We just had our most uploads ever for the last 3 days in a row, and those numbers are growing like crazy. And then when you're ready to start distributing your own content or monetizing, just click the create button on radtv.com. It'll walk you through the very simple channel creation process, and then you're off. You can start uploading content, control everything from our back end, and everything that you do on YouTube or Vimeo or anywhere else. You can host your portfolio, you can create playlists, you can sell content directly, and it's all you could do this in 5 minutes. You can have a channel up and content ready to be sold. If
How
you
do
have a
we
hand cash
like?
wallet, even faster.
Okay, and how do the people pay the creator? What are they using to pay with?
So we right now are integrated across 3 blockchains. Of course, we started with ETH. We started this process a couple years ago of integrating. So we also have the world's first subscription that you can truly own, which is called our Stream Pass NFT. It's $100, and when you buy the Stream Pass NFT, you truly own your subscription to Rad TV. You don't pay us anymore. There's no recurring fees. You connect it to the back end of your account, and you're unlocked across all apps. So we started building this several years ago, and it just, continuously evolving. We're listening, we're paying attention. And the thing that really worked for us was we saw this moment where creators and content were having their moment on blockchain, but anytime somebody came to buy something, when ETH was at $4,500 or whatever, it was a $20 gas fee for a $5 piece of content. So like the creator paid, whatever, $50 or $100 to mint a contract for their NFT to sell their content. And then they put it up for sale, which is another small transaction. So now let's say they're at $30 they spent to distribute this content on ETH. Now a consumer comes in that wants to support that creator directly. They have to pay 5 times as much to a miner as they're actually paying to the creator for the content they want. So we knew that wasn't the future. ETH is not the future for content creators unless there are massive, massive, massive changes to the network infrastructure. Now, the next thing we did was we went out and we said we have to have the lowest fees. So we started looking around, and obviously that answer to us was BSV. And BSV actually took it to 0 fees. So you have a hand cash wallet. You're coming in right now. You're spending no money. You're able to monetize on chain, and that people can buy your content directly from you using BSV, using ETH, and then we just rolled out support for Base on which is Coinbase's layer 2, and it has very efficient fees as well. And early 25, we're going to be integrating Solana, and we hope before summer that we will have ordinals integrated as well. And we're looking at this as we want the creators to have all the tools. Let them decide where and what tools they want to use in their process. And we feel that low fees is the answer. Even today on Base, you're spending 15, 25 cents, maybe 60 cents max to deploy a contract. And then you're spending a couple cents, a penny, 2 cents, sometimes much less, but often that's where it is on Base for any transaction. And like I said, BSV's total 0 on all sides for all transactions, and Rad TV pays it on both sides. So
Damn.
we're just letting creators choose, what they want to do, and we're trying to get out of the way as much as possible. So we're, opening up the platform. Anybody can come in, and I'll add this little, since our CEO shared it the other day, I think it's safe to share here as well. We're actually rolling out support for NSFW content in the coming weeks.
NSFW.
Maybe not safe for work. So maybe that means what I won't even go to whatever you guys think it means. But like I said, you can have private channels on Rad. So imagine any creator, take NSFW in there, can come to Rad TV, create a channel, and then distribute their content. So if that's OnlyFans, if that's Patreon models, if that's a traditional creator. We don't want to discriminate from creators. We want them to be able to connect directly with their audiences and to be able to fulfill the needs of their audiences as a creator themselves. And we're one step at a time, one day at a time, one creator at a time. So again, my name's Cameron. I'm head of community at Rad TV. Our DMs are open everywhere. If anybody has any questions at all, bring the DMs over. There are no dumb questions. Happy to answer any questions. Happy to onboard you to any chain. And I'm not just some anonymous guy on the internet. You can look me up on LinkedIn, attached to Rad TV, and you can see that I'm a real person and not out here just anonymous helping you with blockchain stuff.
Right on, Cameron. Scott, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question. You said that you've got like 6 billion, the app's on 6 billion different devices. I was just wondering sort of what type of numbers of active users are you getting at the moment? And, let's say I'm an Ethereum head and I come in and I want to use Rad TV with Ethereum. When I see, oh dear, the network fees are $20, is there like a little option next to ETH? Hey, why not try Solana? Why not try BSV? Sort of, how you can pick your fees on BTC, slow, medium, and fast. Is there sort of high expense, medium expense, and low expense on Rad TV? What is it sort of funneling people to that free fees?
Yeah, great question. Currently, we have just over 1 million users. We're at about 1.2 million users across our ecosystem, and that number is growing fast. I've been at Rad TV for 4 years now, and it's growing much faster than it ever has. And that, largely due to the creators coming in. And then this past couple of weeks, we just did a partnership with Luma Labs AI, and we are supporting their creators across our entire ecosystem. And we have seen a massive influx of users coming in from that just this week, and tons of new content. So like I said, our last few days have been our biggest days of content ingestion, and we anticipate that to continue growing. So when it comes to monetization, you go in, so you upload a piece of content. Of course, you do not have to monetize. You can make your content available for free, and distribute it to all the devices, and just put it out there for get as many eyes and ears on your content as possible. But when you are ready to monetize, you simply go on your video details page, click on monetization, and you'll see the three options there. I love your idea about fast, medium, and slow. And maybe that's something we could add, that when somebody does click ETH, we could pop a little div box up that just says like, hey, did you know fees on base and fees on BSV are X and 0? And maybe that would entice people over. But at the moment, we're not, like I said, we're not trying to play any games with pushing creators to any one place. And at the moment, we're also not trying to push creators to any specific content. We're trying to think about this differently than other streaming platforms have. And we feel that the landscape has shifted drastically in the last few years because everything is so controlled by advertising dollars, and you are beholden to them for literally everything. If you are putting content and they're the ones paying for it, they have total control over your reach, over if you're getting monetized, if they pull their ads from you, if you get censored, if your account gets shut down, if you get a strike on your account. And we're trying to think about this in a way, and we're honoring the community's feedback, that we can get to a place to where we don't have to rely on advertisers. And currently today, like I said, there's no ads on the platform, and there's no other creators' content on your content page. So if you put, your movie on Rad TV, if you do that anywhere else, they're putting a ton of other items right next to your content because they want to get as many clicks on the things that pay them the most. And that's not what we're doing. What we're doing currently is trying to really focus on creators to make them the focal point. And we're going to where they are. We're putting their content where their audience is, and we're letting them make the decisions. How do you want to distribute? How do you want to monetize? Here are your options. And like I said, happy to answer any questions for anyone. We're trying to be as loud as possible about 0 fees on BSV. And we think that is a real, it's a step in the right direction for creators, because it's eliminated an additional barrier to entry to the blockchain monetization. And today, everybody has to come in. They're like, I don't even know where to start with a wallet. And then you're telling them, write down a 12-word seed phrase, store it on a piece of paper, write it with a pen, put it in a safe place, don't ever lose it. And they're like, what the heck? Like, I just want to click the 4 buttons and earn money. Like, I just want to focus on my creativity, not on all this new financial model information, and I have new worries and new responsibilities. So we think integrating BSV and Hand Cash Wallet. If you guys don't have Hand Cash Wallet, it's incredible. Just type in Hand Cash in your app store, and there's also a desktop extension. And you can start monetizing on Rad TV right now. All you need is the address to send payments to.
So when you go to the
No
Rad
fees.
TV, Cameron, it says, or I guess Stream Pass, it says pay with ETH, pay with credit card. How are the other options? I mean, how does it integrate with Hand Cash or BSV if these are the only two things that
Oh, well,
they're
you're seeing our subscription. So you're looking at our subscription model, which
yeah.
is for our premium subscription. So our premium subscription, we currently offer only through ETH. We're working on a base Stream Pass that will support ETH on base as well. The reason we're doing that is similar contracts, very easy to roll out, and we can control secondary sales. So what we can't do is we can't offer our Stream Pass on networks that don't enforce secondary sales, because that cuts us out of our business model. So at the moment, that's what what we're offering for our subscription models. And not, creators don't need to be subscribers. You don't need to creators don't have to pay anything to be a part of Rad TV. If you are looking to subscribe to Rad TV, we do have our crypto offering, which is the Stream Pass. And of course, we have traditional methods of subscribing with debit card, credit card, PayPal, 190 countries, all kinds of currencies. A few we don't.
Now,
Um,
what about What
Yeah.
about you mentioned the higher risk stuff, and I'm wondering if you're doing higher risk stuff with the credit cards, are you going to be allowed to take credit cards for that?
Well, so the way we're doing it right now is we're not selling content through credit cards. We're selling content through blockchain. So you can't come in today and buy a piece of content with your debit or credit card. We actually are planning that. We have some implementations that our devs have been experimenting with and playing with for a couple months now, and we're trying. What we hope to do is we want to move these barriers for both creators and consumers and let creators monetize how they want, distribute how they want, and let consumers pay how they want. And whether you want to pay with a credit card or pay with crypto, the experience should be pretty much the same. And that's, on this chat specifically, I think people here really understand, if you're in the BSV crew, you understand that there is tech in play that most people don't understand at all. And like, I'm on the internet, we're all on the internet right now. I don't know how any of this shit works. I don't know HTTPS. I don't know the IPv6 thing everybody talking about. I don't know any of that stuff. I just know I log into the internet and I can buy things and do things, and I can do the things that I need to do online. That's how we want to make blockchain and content distribution. We want to bring them together to where nobody's even thinking about this. So the higher risk stuff and all content sales are happening on chain at the moment. And we're not, like I said, we're not worried about the the uh, the correlation between NSFW content and credit card content because we're not playing that game. We're
Okay.
totally avoiding that mishap, and we're excited about what creators think for that because right now there's not many platforms that allow peer-to-peer transactions in this way, especially like OnlyFans does not, Patreon does not, and we do. So we're excited for that word to get out, and once we roll out support for NSFW content, we anticipate to see a major influx of users that are a different type of creator than we've seen before.
Yeah. So if I upload content to the platform, will it be posted on chain? Can I view it on chain that it's going to be permanently there?
If you monetize on chain and you are so the content is not stored on chain, I think that'd be an interesting, that's something I did several years ago, like 2018, was stored some music on BSV, and that was a very, very big moment for me and in my crypto journey. And I love that idea of storing content on chain and it being totally stored on chain forever. At the moment, Rad does not do that. That would make all of our endpoints and all of our client apps have to engage with the blockchain. And that's just too much to do right now. So we have our web platform engage with the blockchain, and then we facilitate that transfer of information across our ecosystem. So it's by one time, content's available everywhere. And of course, that's done via web. That's a great question, Scott. I appreciate that question very much.
Yeah.
Gavin,
Well,
was that Gavin? That was
This is
Gavin. Yep, sorry.
Gavin Cameron. So yeah, dude, that's good, man. Well, let's uh any other questions right now, Scott or Casey, or if anybody else wants to jump up and ask questions to Cameron, or
Excellent
comments.
questions, by the way. These are good questions. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
yeah, well, a question I have, obviously, we spoke about how advertisers really sort of hold the whip for content
Absolutely.
on these platforms. I'm just wondering, how are you guys going to sort of deal with the copyright issues that other content creators have? Because, for example, on YouTube, it's like 3 seconds, and then boom, an entire 20-minute video is demonetized
Yep.
because of 3 seconds of an artist.
Yep.
So you going to be using sort of like a blockchain chronological order, i.e., you put it up on Rad TV first, so therefore you have the copyrights to this, or how are you going to tackle that problem?
Good question. And we're not looking to get into the legal battle or position ourselves in a new position legally or take a new stance. So currently we abide by DMCA, and that's our stance is if somebody contacts us to take content down that is infringing on someone's rights, we will respond to that inquiry in a meaningful fashion. If it needs to be removed, we will remove it. But at the moment, we're telling creators and encouraging creators to err on the side of creativity. Make the things. Don't be held up thinking, I can't make this thing because of copyright. There was an amazing Batman piece that just went around the AI community over the last couple of weeks, and it got taken down everywhere. And obviously, he's using, you know, famous actors' faces. He's using Batman. He's using things that are definitely making somebody's eyebrows raise at Warner Brothers. You know, they're seeing this and thinking, "Holy shit, that's not that's not good. If we lose control of this, and anybody can go out here and make, you know, a Batman scene." So if somebody were to reach out to us to have content like that removed, it's something we take seriously, and we don't want to infringe on any creators. You know, that protection extends to our creators as well, and we want creators to have the rights that are in place. We're not looking to change the rules in place. What does get interesting is when you are putting things on chain, you know, they can't really be removed. And there was a period several years ago
Hold
where,
on, Cameron. You know, now
yeah, go
you're,
ahead.
you know, I don't mean to be a
No, it's fine.
nemesis here, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you're using the word on chain, and I need you to be more specific when you say that, because you just told me a minute ago that it's not going
Yeah.
to be on chain. So please
Yeah, well,
clarify.
contracts and deploys are on chain. So, like, you can't, that's what I'm saying is you can't remove those things. So, if you're dealing with a network that actually uses smart contracts, Base or ETH, then the data you're pushing to chain when you're monetizing content, you're owning a contract through your own wallet that you control and that you own. So, that is on chain. And all of that payment data, all of that publishing data is on chain. The content is not totally stored on chain. There's not, you know, people are uploading 4K 8 hour long pieces of content that's not fitting on BSV today, and it may not fit on BSV ever. They're 800 gigabyte files, so that may never happen. And that's where, you know, this is a very interesting conversation because actually BSV can store data on chain, and that's, you know, I think that's where the confusion lies, is that we are saying things are on chain. Those rights to monetization, those rights to contracts, those rights of ownership, those rights of deploying and owning a contract that are connected to the
Right.
collection and the content are totally on chain. The only thing that's
Nice.
not on chain is the individual content. And I don't even know
See, we have this
what that
problem
would
with
look like.
censorship is the reason, Cameron. And we just went through this the other day here, where Scott posted a piece of content which was supposed to make a difference and change people. You know, a lot of people supported, and it was censored off the internet, off of a platform. And so,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
this is something. It wasn't hateful. It wasn't mean. It wasn't illegal. It wasn't anything like. There was none of that. It was a completely legal. Everything he did was completely, you know, it was just pure censorship. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're just trying to
Which
find a way
platform
to
was this?
fix that. You know, what's that?
Which platform?
Scott had posted on change.org.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. They're a centralized platform, and they just allow change that doesn't affect their decision makers. If it affects one of their decision makers, then they censor it. That's
Oh, sure.
apparently
Yeah, I mean
what they.
that's where we are. It's definitely in an era where things are controlled, and you know, it's we had a question the other day of somebody that said they didn't want to upload to our platform because we have global rights to distribute and relicense their content, and they're like, "Well, I can't upload because you have global rights to use my content." And it's like, yeah, well, we're a streaming platform. We have to be able to use your content globally, or else what are we do? Like, that's our whole thing, is like showing your content to other people around the globe. And I feel that, you know, a lot of times people get in their own way when it's about like copyright legalities and over fear. And there are real concerns. And a real concern is you're putting up content that should be allowed to live somewhere. You're putting up an opinion. You're putting up speech that you're allowed to share. And platforms are taking that down. And we know who everybody here knows which platforms are doing that. And we've just all, you know, we're on X. We just watched the 4 year political history of X and the way this is unfolded. And, you know, it's tough that politics has entered into everything, but it seems like that's the time we're in. And really interesting times, and I think blockchain solves a lot of these problems.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, if anybody wants to jump up here and ask any questions or comments, feel free to do so. And then in the meantime, are you going to be able to? What's your ETA, Cameron? Do you have a meeting to go to, or how long are you available?
Well, of course, we're swamped right now. Fourth quarter is always the busiest time of year for Rad TV. But how long are you guys running this?
Well, we're gonna go. You know, we don't have a set time right now, so right now we're
Well,
just
let's
gonna.
just keep rocking. Just keep
Yeah, let's
rocking.
keep
We're
rocking.
here for
Okay,
a
well,
minute.
we'd love to
If
have you
I
stay
gotta
up
go,
here.
yeah,
I want to
sounds
bring
good.
also bring in the tree chat into the conversation as well, and see if we can kind of blend this two together because they're doing a AI also on chain apparently with that may be able to somehow. I don't know, Scott. Did you want to introduce them a little bit and that way we can kind of bridge this gap.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a bit like you, Gavin. I don't really know a lot. I've had a little play around with Tree Chat and interacted online with them a little, but I was more intrigued. I saw it as sort of like similar to Twitch, but yeah, I was just wondering if they could sort of really explain what they're doing and how they're revolutionizing using BSV and blockchain.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. What's your name with tree chat?
Hey everyone, I'm Dimitri. I'm the co-founder of treechat. Thanks for having me.
Dimitri. All right, cool, man. This is Gavin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Gavin. Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Scott.
thanks, man. So you've been listening to to Cameron at Rad TV here?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna touch on a few similar things and themes that that Cameron talked about, and we're a little earlier in our startup journey than Rad TV. We actually started out as like a research tool. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the personal knowledge management space, PKM, and like these tools like Obsidian, Roam. And now we're doing a hard pivot to essentially becoming a Bitcoin social network. And the reason for that, and the idea is basically that creators can be rewarded by their audience directly. So when we're having all of these conversations, instead of using likes and reposts and these other signaling mechanisms, we can actually just send each other rewards using the Bitcoin blockchain, the big block Bitcoin blockchain. And we can only do this on BSV because the fees are so low that there's very little friction in sending someone like 10,000 Satoshis. And when we do this at scale, we actually get a much more powerful signal for organizing information, organizing knowledge. And so that's kind of like in our DNA. We started out as this research tool, but we're like, how can we create a meme market, an information market, just through our day-to-day conversations? And this is actually the best kind of use case for social network from my perspective, and maybe for many of you. And that's why the whole X saga that Cameron mentioned was so, with censorship and having gone through that and having a free speech platform, is so important, because the most powerful use case, in my opinion, is being able to share valuable information. And we kind of have these proxy signals like likes, which is basically like a fiat signal. You can like as many times. It doesn't cost you anything to like. It doesn't cost you anything to repost. But if we actually use real money to signal what we believe valuable information is, then we can get a much more powerful emergent meme market that really points us at kind of, I don't want to say the source of truth, but basically better information, more interesting information, more entertaining information, content. And so that's kind of the idea here is, how can we just use our day-to-day social networking and interacting with our community, and then as a consequence of that, have this incredible powerful ranking of knowledge that the world can rely on to really make sense of the world at a time when institutional credibility has collapsed, government credibility has
Totally.
collapsed. And so
We had, let me give you an example as to what happened. We had this government thing. We wanted to see some change in the court system over there in the UK. They had some judges that we wanted to have looked into a lot. Well, not just me, 700 people had over just in a couple days. They just saw, hey, we want some people to look into this, these judges and what they're doing, and they're just a couple, just look like some very funny business and situations they were involved in. And it wasn't bad. It was just like, hey, let's look into this. It was free speech. And then boom, somebody censored it off the internet 2 days later, without notice, just boom, that's not allowed. You can't look into this. Nobody's allowed to look into this. This is off limits. And so,
right.
Is that something that's going to happen on this tree chat where if we want to talk about, hey, we want to investigate this, this judge or this this topic. Is that not allowed? I mean, on this platform?
No, it's the opposite. I am personally ideologically extremely pro free speech. That's probably my my top ideological commitment. So I would say the way that I'm thinking about it is basically any legal speech should be allowed on the platform, and the messages that you write get written to the blockchain. So even if TreeChat goes out of business, or decides to not show the information for whatever reason, even if there's a takedown notice that we are legally obligated to follow, the information is on chain and any other client can read it. So the information lives outside of TreeChat, and we basically our policy is essentially any legal speech. We don't do not suitable for work content at the moment, just because we're still a very young platform, and that can really determine the nature of your platform. Like, it's very if you follow the OnlyFans trajectory, they basically were forced to do not suitable for work content, because it has a life of its own. We don't want to do that at the moment, but it's almost like the way we consider it is if you can say it in public, like if you like we have the public stream where people post publicly on chain. If you can go outside and say something, if that's legal speech, then that's allowed on the platform.
Okay, cool, man. So how would you compare this to? I mean, what was your inspiration for this? Was it something that you saw before that you were trying to solve a problem? Well, I want to know what your inspiration was first, and then also I want to know, like, just a simple newbie like who's wondering, well, what's in it for me? And how can you address those two questions to start with?
Sure. I mean, my inspiration is basically I want to be looking at the most valuable content. So I don't want to be I don't want my content and my attention to be hijacked by advertisers, and I want to be able to see content that the audience values and that I will find valuable. And so that's really and we kind of went through the censorship era, and we're still going through it to some extent, but there's a fight now. And so I lived through that, and I really didn't like it. That's not the way to progress civilization. These are really like civilizational questions. Is can you access knowledge that is valuable to you, that is going to help your family, that is going to help you?
I mean, in America, we take it very seriously. We take it so seriously that I would consider it sedition. And don't ever let me catch somebody around in person who's censored or violated free speech out here in the First Amendment in person, because we have extreme measures taken with people like that. So don't take my voice as upset, but I'm an enforcer. So when it comes to those things, man, we do not take those things lightly. And so when they censored this platform, when they censored 700 people's information off the web like that the other day, in 2 days, it was just really unacceptable, and I'm just committed to not using any more platforms that are going to be doing that. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, I think that's appalling. And I was brought up by my parents at a very, very young age. So they fled the Soviet Union, an extremely authoritarian government, and seeing this country now, my adopted country, go through basically a slide towards that same situation is extremely sad, and something that we have to fight 1000%. And I think that Bitcoin is really, honestly, it's one of the shining lights and one of the few kind of tools we have to fight back against these kinds of things and this kind of violation of the promise of this country, which is it's an incredible.
Like you're here in America.
Yes, I came here when I was very young. So my parents brought me to America. So I've been here
Boston
my whole life in Boston. Yeah,
cool.
But I'm saying we fled that situation, and we have to do everything we can. We fled the authoritarian government in the Soviet Union, and we have to do everything within our power to fight that here, because free speech and the idea that you have a right to express yourself however you want, to express your consciousness. That's like probably the greatest political achievement in human civilization. And so to go back on that, like, it can't be.
Right.
We can't go back.
That's right. That's right. So it sounds like that's the fundamentals of what it's in you, like it's in me. And we when you live in this and you are here and you've been dealing with it and you've been I know one of the guys who are listening, Craig Mason, if he wants to come up here, he was censored off of Venmo, off of PayPal, off of Cash App, off of Facebook, off of. I mean, he was going through the list, and it was like, I know Casey Nicole too. I mean, and people who have suffered and just absolutely been devastated by censorship, not because they did anything illegal, they didn't do anything illegal or wrong. They just talked about something that the platform was against the platform's ideologies.
100%.
And
yeah, let me address the second question, is like, what's in it
you.
for the user. So I mean, obviously everything we just talked about is that you can we're not going to censor. You can, any legal speech is it's available to you to express yourself. And I think the key thing is basically that when you come on the platform and you just post and you see the up values coming in, and up values are like upvotes with Bitcoin, there's just something about it that it's a very good feeling. It makes things much more real than having like likes or reposts. It's something valuable. It's an honest signal of value from your audience. That's what it is. So that when you post something and you get an up value, that requires a real sacrifice on the part of your audience to signal to you that they find your content valuable. And so that incentivizes you to create more content like that. And that gives you the means to upvalue other content and to spread that signal. And that you are elevating the quality of the conversation across the whole platform, and hopefully, when we get really big, the world. And so that's really kind of, you are a participant in an idea market, and you both receive up value and give up value to make that happen. And in the end, we all end up with higher quality conversation, more valuable content, more valuable entertainment. And that's really what's in it for you.
Nice. Would you compare it to?
I wanted to ask, did you say
ahead,
that
Scott.
the whole of treechat and the social media platform is sort of like working with an AI? So is the information generated by the users creating an AI for outward purposes or to improve the social media platform? What exactly? How does the AI tie into that? Or is
100%. So we have you don't have to use AI on treechat. You can just you can write whatever you want, and many people write just like they write on X or any social network. But what we do is we integrate many AI models. So we integrate with many large language models. So for example, really like all the OpenAI models, a bunch of the Anthropic models. So there's like, I think, I don't even remember now, like 9 or 10 models that you can interact with, that you can ask, that you can invite into your chats publicly with other people and chat with these AI models. You can ask them questions. You can have them participate in your conversations with both humans and AIs. And that's I think that's not really happening on any other platforms, where you're interacting with these really advanced chatbots, essentially, and again, asking them to generate knowledge for you and your audience, and all of that is being upvalued and being written on chain. So that's a really interesting experience that you can have on treechat. You can also use them privately, by the way, all of these models. So if you just want to play privately, that's very cool too. And we also offer a lot of different image models. So you can choose from various different image models. And if you go on treechat, you'll see people just writing messages and then asking the image models to illustrate their messages. And what this does is it creates like much more beautiful, much more visually appealing social networking experiences. And it's a very interesting way of both talking and exploring ideas, because your ideas are being illustrated and you can be choosing different models to illustrate what you're thinking about, and it almost becomes in itself a visual conversation. Again, all of that is being upvalued. You're being rewarded for the images that you generate through your message prompts. So AI is intimately woven through all of the conversations that you're having, both publicly and privately. And the connection there with blockchain and AI is, if you look at, if you see what happens at scale with AI, is that the creators, whether they're on the social network or wherever they are, they're going to be generating so much content. There's going to be so much content being generated.
Oh yeah,
And
in the future with AI.
I mean, it's already happening, and in the future, even, of course, it's going to get
Yeah, even
crazy.
more.
The question you have to ask yourself is, how am I going to decide what content to look like? And depending on which platform you are on, the platforms are going to answer that in different ways. And the way that we think it should be answered is let the market decide. And to let the market decide, you have to have money running through the platform, and that's what we're doing. So it's going to be a ranking mechanism for content, both human and AI. And I don't think that AI is going to displace humans. I think it's going to be a cooperative endeavor. I'm very bullish, and I'm very happy about this invention. I think it's going to supercharge people's creative powers. It's going to make everyone a creator, and the limiting principle is going to be good taste. And that good taste is going to be measured by up value and Bitcoin, big block Bitcoin. And that's our vision.
So Dimitri, what's your story, dude? You came to Boston when you were a kid, and you left the communist country, so you appreciate free speech and the values that we have here. So what else is your story about? What's your Bitcoin story?
So I grew up in Boston, or in the Boston suburbs. In college, I studied computer science. I then quit computer science and went into real estate development with my dad in a family business. Didn't like that, quit that, and then I went back to my computer science roots at like 30 something, and worked for a bunch of startups. And so it was very involved in computers. And when the Bitcoin white paper came out, because I was in computer science, I was able to luckily understand it. I saw it the first time I saw it. Like many people, I dismissed it, and then when the price went up a little bit, I was like, took a second look, and I read the white paper, and I had like a transformative moment where I was like, oh my God, this means that we can we don't, no third parties, no trusted third parties, means that the entire financial system can be reimagined. And you can, what Bitcoin really means is that you can peer-to-peer trade the reserve asset. So like what that means is that you're never relying on anyone to hold your money. You're always it's like you're trading the gold. Like if you think about the financial systems of the past, they had gold, even the gold-based systems, which it's a hard asset, but because it was so difficult to move, you still had these institutions that forced you to rely on them to basically trade paper gold. And that wasn't an entirely greedy thing. That was because of the technology. That was because of the convenience that provided. And so for that convenience, you took some risk with these third parties, and that gave them a lot of power to shape society. That those institutions basically control the monopoly money. That they're in charge of the game, and you're not free if you're relying on other people to control the point system in the game. Like they can, you're just not, you're being controlled.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
We're under the
here,
Federal Reserve. I mean, we have been for the last 100 years. So
yeah. So I mean, but even if the Federal Reserve is the worst instantiation of it, because they have no limit. But even on the gold standard, because of the limitations of moving gold around, you still had to rely on these third parties that basically created paper gold. Essentially, they could still do this, but with some more limits than
securities, basically, where you have your gold in a vault and they give you a security.
Exactly. So you still relied on them. But here, And here you can actually just trade the reserve asset. That's like, it is, the Bitcoin is the hard money. You can send it to each other, to peer-to-peer for free. And so, and that's the difference between BSV and Bitcoin Core, because Bitcoin Core, they're gonna end up with the same system. They're gonna end up with a system where you have to rely on some, because of the transaction limitations that Bitcoin Core imposed on itself for no reason except ideological reasons. They're going to have these third-party institutions, and so BSV is really the most transformational, right? Like it's really the power. It has the power to change our world essentially.
So it sounds like you had this big waking up moment in pretty early, man, when you were reading this. What year was that?
2013.
Wow. So at that point, did you start like kind of envisioning that you wanted to do a business at some point in the future, and then you saw that BTC Core had changed things, and it didn't work anymore? Was there a process that you went through?
At some point I left the start. I was still working at that time, so I left. So there's probably many years that passed where I had a job, and didn't have my own companies, and then I switched into. I actually had a crypto portfolio tracker that I built called Cryptograph. That was my first startup, and I had always. treechat used to be called Navigator. It used to be essentially a personal research tool for me. And so again, I'm coming at this from like curating information. Like, how do I get the best information? And how do I get the alpha, but not just in the market, but with knowledge, right? Because like today, what you know, I don't want to get into the whole COVID situation, but what you know, think about how impactful the knowledge that you had was when it came to like COVID or so it's a huge advantage having good knowledge.
Oh, for sure. For sure. When you're getting your news or your research off of Facebook or whatnot, and that's all you get, you rely on that. It's important.
Exactly. And so I think that I actually think that money, extremely cheaply transacted money, cheap enough to monetize information and to value our conversations, is actually an extremely powerful tool for getting that knowledge. And so that's where I went. So I left the startup world. I stopped working for other startups. I launched my own company. But even with that company, I always had this thing in the back of my head with Navigator and trying to make something like an information market. And so I ended up shutting that one down and telling my partner, sorry, I have to do this with my life. So this is really like my life purpose here that I'm working on with treechat, and I hope to. I think that there will be a revolution in the way that we consume content and that we get knowledge and that we rank information. And I think that now is the time to really do it, because again, there really is no alternative at the moment. It's either someone else telling you what to think and what to read and what to know, or it's going to be the market. And so we have to build an information market,
dude. So it sounds like you figured out your definite purpose, and it was somehow between the time you read the white paper to between figuring out this stuff. And I'm like, where was that moment that you're like, you know what, this is my purpose. I need to do this. I'm dropping everything. What was the clicking? How did that happen?
Oh man, I don't like, that's a hard question. I think.
No, it's difficult to get to that point in life, right? Because a lot of people are on the fence and they're like, well, what's it all about? I heard about this crypto and I heard Michael Saylor say that buying it is good. So, and you're obviously way past all that. So,
well, I was on the fence for some time, and I was trying different things, but at some point, I don't know if there was like a single event. I mean, the white paper was a big part of it, and then COVID was a big part of it, and all of that stuff that went down. So just seeing a censorship, seeing seeing the quality of information that was being put out, that inspired me to kind of try to rectify the
So
situation.
did another platform inspire you at all?
100%. You know, Twitter inspired me. Twitch to some extent, even though I was never a big Twitch user, but they had a lot of interesting ideas.
What about
Obviously,
Is it Hodlocker?
yeah, Hodlocker, 100%. You know, Hodlocker is a lot of the audience on Hodlocker, I think, had the right idea, and that, which is, again, they were monetized. They were using locks to monetize information, and we actually had locking. We have locking on the platform. I don't think now that it's quite the right approach. I think actually rewarding the creator is a much more powerful signal, because it requires the audience of the content to actually make a sacrifice that's much bigger than just locking something up. So it actually forces you to part with your Bitcoin, and really say, like, yes, here, you created something valuable. I appreciate this. So I think that that's a better signal than locking. But the idea of using money to rank information, and that was an idea that Hodlocker was premised on. That's the right idea, and I found it very exciting that there was an audience for that, and that actually inspired what used to be Navigator.
How can you speak to the people that were disappointed in I think when was it Twitch and then Hodlocker and they closed? Some people were disappointed with that. Can you speak to those people and how this might be different, or a solution that's not going to harm them?
Well, the first thing is, there's no guarantees in life, but the fact that Twitch and Hodlocker were written on chain actually allowed treechat to come in and index that content. And so we have a Twitch stream where you can search and interact with all of the Twitch content that we could get off chain, and all of the Hodlocker content. And there's a lot of wisdom there that people are quoting today on treechat. And so that content lives on. So, and that would not be the case if those social networks were built in a Web 2 way on proprietary databases. And that's also why treechat is being built this way. All of the messages are being written on chain. So, if something does happen to treechat, and if Bitcoin succeeds, then, and I think it will, then there will be another client that comes and shows that content.
Wow. So you're saying that the content that was taken down from Hodlocker and Twitch, it now lives on treechat.
I am saying that, yeah. So you can open up part of the public stream, which is the kind of, there's treechat has a public and a private mode, so you can use treechat privately for like notes and your own writing and diaries and stuff, or you can write in public, and you can use all of the AI in both modes and all of this stuff. But in the public stream, you have you have substreams. So you have just the treechat stream, and then you have the Hodlocker stream that you can go navigate to and read. You have the Twitch stream as well. And we have many old Twitch users finding their content and quoting it on treechat, and enjoying their past writing and other people's past writing.
I'm wearing my Twitch hoodie right now, number 688, my first on-chain purchase of physical clothing, the Fidgetal.
Oh, very nice.
Oh yeah, you you were on Twitch, Cameron?
Oh yeah, I was user 688, baby. I was there super. I've been BSV since day one. I was the
OG.
I was one of the first. I was uploading stuff to Byco. I was uploading. I've been in here since the day it launched. I was very excited for the day BSV launched. It was the ideal Bitcoin in my mind, and still is.
Wow. Oh, you're an OG.
Yeah, try to be. I do have a question. I have my hand up. If
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cameron.
It's okay. Hey, Dimitri, I just wanted to ask you, I love the idea of like what Twitch was, and I was really sorry to see it go. And I'm incredibly impressed that you guys. I just texted a group of 20 Twitch users and sent them a link to treechat and said they're indexing all the Twitch data, which I know they're going to be fired up. I am wondering what your thoughts are on like connecting information and like I know you were careful with the way you worded it because, and you're correct to think about it this way of like letting the money be connected to information in a way that like represents truth or something. And it's like if you're paying for an upvote, it does feel like it would be more meaningful. A Reddit with paid upvotes that actually cost you something to get that information upvoted. Isn't that what we already have? Like, isn't that what capitalism is? And like, what are your thoughts on like that being a different route than like what we are currently in? Because like today, the information we get is who has the most money and who controls those airwaves. That seems to be the dominant story, regardless of the credibility or truthfulness.
So I think that it depends on kind of which scale you're looking at, but if we just zoom in into the way that information is valued on like X, for example, even, or Facebook or whatever, it's actually it's in a lot of ways it's the advertisers who pay for the information, right? They have a lot of, they don't pay for it like in the moment, but they have a financial stake in what's being shown on the platform. And and this doesn't play out like when you're talking about mundane things, but as soon as you start hitting like controversial topics, or topics that are inconvenient for those in power or those with wealth, well, then all of a sudden the advertisers are paying to not show information in a sense. And so what we're doing is we're taking that mechanism that is only available to advertisers on these platforms, and we're just basically decentralizing it to in the moment peer-to-peer up value. And so what happens is now it's the audience that collectively decides what is shown and what is not shown. And so that's the difference. I think it's actually a more pure version of capitalism. And you couldn't really do this before because the fees are too high. Basically, you essentially like you can't like let's say take a credit card, whatever it is, like a 30-cent fee.
Right, right.
A message isn't worth 30 cents potentially. But someone might not want to pay 30 cents for a message in a conversation. That's too much. But 10,000 sats, a small fraction of a cent, that seems much more reasonable, and actually it's actually a pleasure to send that to someone who elicited some kind of response from you, having read their content. And so, but that doesn't sound like a lot. So at the individual level, that's not a lot. But if you actually start, like growing that out at scale, that starts adding up. So you can think about like all of the conversations you've had on X, in the past month or year. And so what if there was actually money moving through those likes and those reposts and your responses and your replies? And so like that's something that hasn't been done well. If other platforms have tried it, but I think that those other platforms weren't using Bitcoin, big block Bitcoin. And so I think that's the right tool for the job. And it's actually like a more pure form of capitalism. And, you will never see an ad on TreeChat. I think that ads are kind of like, people use ads. I understand why it happens. It's because, you need to monetize in some way, but I think that it's kind of a crutch. What happens is you're essentially the user is paying with their attention, right? So like I'm reading something and now I have to be distracted and turn my attention somewhere else and be shown some content that I'm, sometimes it's relevant, but oftentimes and most oftentimes it's not. And I'm distracted from the thing I'm really doing when I can be actually viewing the most valuable information for me at that moment. I think that's in a way, it's kind of a betrayal of the user, and we will never do that. And we are going to use basically small casual transactions to have the audience reward the creator for their content in real time, in the conversation that they're having. Everyone is equal. Everyone values what they're reading, and an information market emerges from that. And the consequence of that is that we can then create a market-based ranking, a market-based algorithm, so that it's not us who's deciding what you see, it's you, the users, who are deciding what you see through an honest signal, having sacrificed a small amount of Bitcoin to signal to others what you value And at scale, this is going to create the best possible, the most valuable knowledge consumption.
Thanks for answering.
Dimitri, so yeah, looks like I saw David Case in the audience here a minute ago. I don't know, I don't see him anymore, but it looks like you got yours.org or yours wallet in there to sign up. So can you
Yep.
take me through as a newbie, like what is the what would I do here to get started? I never even used yours before, so
You don't have to use yours. You can so we have two ways of signing up. You can use yours to sign up, and we're working on other wallet integrations. We actually generate, no matter how you sign up, whether it's with yours or using an email, we actually generate a wallet for you on the platform that you can download. So the keys are, we don't control the wallet. It's a wallet that you can download the keys for and store them yourself. So it's not like, it's basically a shared wallet essentially, but you have total access to it and can do whatever you want with it. So you fund that wallet or just post. I think the easiest way to do it is you just sign up, regardless of how you sign up, and post something, and you'll find that people start upvaluing you. And then that funds your wallet, or you can fund your wallet, from an external wallet if you want. And then you can be reading other people's content and upvaluing their content. But I think like the step number one is to experience what TreeChat is all about. I think is sign up and post something. And I think you'll find that it'll be an interesting experience.
So even if I don't go ahead and get yours wallet, then I can just sign up, and you're saying that I don't need to fund the account?
You don't need to fund the account to post. We actually subsidize the fees. Like they're so cheap that we can do that. And so, yeah, you can just sign up and just start posting, and that's it. And if you wanted to upvalue other people's content, then you would need to fund the account. But even then, if you just post something, other people will upvalue your content. So you'll have a small amount of BSV right there, and then you'll be able to upvalue other people's content. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. That's really well thought through.
Yes, there's no like, you don't need BSV to use the system. And all of the AI models, by the way, are free. So I don't know how long that's going to last, to be honest with you, and we're probably going to make some of them premium. But for now, you can use so many models on a single platform for free just to try them out, see because they all have their own different personalities. So yeah, we're trying to, we're, like I said, we're a little bit earlier in the startup journey than Rad is. So like we're in a user acquisition phase. So we're trying to make it as frictionless as possible. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that.
So you said that a lot of these AIs, they're all third-party AIs, or is TreeChat yourself actually creating an AI model from the information that is put on the site? Because of one of the things that I think one of the issues that people are facing with AI currently is obviously, depending on how you word as an example, I believe I saw a post saying, tell me the reasons why Donald Trump is a bad president. And it's, here's the big long reason. But then when it says, tell me the reasons why Joe Biden's a bad president, it says, well, we shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. So obviously it's showing you that the data set that the AI has been created from is obviously left leaning. One of the things that was interesting me is sort of those AI model data sets being on chain so that people can verify that it hasn't just been given a load of left leaning information, or it hasn't just been given a load of right leaning information. It's sort of unbiased in its approach, and it's giving you a fair, honest answer. Is that something that you guys are looking to implement yourselves, or are you just going to continue with these open AI models and third party models?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that actually is another way in which crypto and AI will be intimately related. So right now it's all third-party models. To train your own model takes like, I don't know, millions and maybe billions of capital. But our goal is to do exactly what you just said, which is, imagine we build a market ranking of knowledge wouldn't it be cool to use that ranking and literally use our community's values as recorded on the blockchain with up value to train a model, so that the model that we train actually reflects our values literally? So that's what information market can do, is we can record what information is important to us in a decentralized manner across the entire community, and then we can use that as training data for an AI. So I absolutely am thinking towards that future. It's just that we have to kind of take it one step at a time and grow our way there.
Abo Mac has his hand up.
Hey, Gavin, thanks for taking the space.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Question for TreeChat. What's the cost of running your platform? Because a lot of people fail in BSV because they can't pay the cost of operation. What's the monthly cost of running it? You said it's a startup. And second question, if you can answer, how many users do you have currently, like on a recurring basis? Thanks.
Yeah. I don't have that number for you. That I don't think I want to share that, to be honest with you. But I have enough runway to pursue this for quite a bit. And we're growing. So that to answer the user question, we have about 40 daily active users. Like I said, we're still very early on in the state and in our startup journey. So that's why I'm talking to you guys. So please come on the platform and post on it and earn up value. But we are growing basically since we've made a hard pivot towards Bitcoin social network probably like a few months ago, and we are experiencing pretty good growth.
So a hard pivot, when you say that, what did you pivot from?
So we pivoted from a personal knowledge management tool similar to like Roam or Obsidian. Basically like a personal research tool. It had a multiplayer component as well, but so that's basically like knowledge acquisition, knowledge curation is in our DNA, because we're going from research tool to social network, and we have many of the that's why it's called tree chat. The tree part is like, the way it works is it's essentially an infinitely branching chat. So like you're having a conversation and every message can branch off into its own chat thread. And so you can, what this lets you do is you can go really deep into certain tangents. And this is not something that happens in other social networks, and it allows for like deeper conversation and deeper exploration and more organized chats that you can find things. So you can imagine, like, one of the cool things about Tree Chat, and this is perfect for Twitch and Hudlocker streams, is that you can actually search and reference other conversations from the past. So it's not this very ephemeral real-time experience. Information stays around longer and therefore can be valued more efficiently. And so it's a social network that's really pointed at knowledge curation. And valuing knowledge and ranking, curating knowledge using market mechanics, using Bitcoin.
One question I also had, obviously you said about how you guys have managed to get like all the Twitch posts and all those things on. Is that purely because of they were on chain, or do you see yourselves in the future being able to sort of, grab all of your X content and then post that on there, so that there's let's say you've been on X for 3, 4, 5 years and you've got a lot of content that may be valuable to a new audience. Is there any current ways that you can, and this also goes to Rad TV as well, is there any ways that you can sort of drag those content and videos over in a nice, easy way, rather than sort of starting from day one and reposting everything?
Yeah, there's no way to do that right now, but that's an interesting feature request. So I would go on Tree Chat and make that feature request. And the amazing thing about Tree Chat is I can people make feature requests on Tree Chat publicly, and I upvalue those. People make and I told this to Scott. People make say give me bug notifications like, oh, this doesn't work, and I can reward my my users with Bitcoin for helping me build the platform in real time. So yeah, make that feature request. I'd love to hear your feedback.
And yes, on Rad TV, we actually just built a tool to ingest from another platform. It should be live any day. So if you have, 20 years of YouTube history, you just import everything straight to your channel for Rad TV, and it should be live any day. We've just built it over the last few weeks.
Oh, really? That sounds
Very excited
valuable,
about
dude.
it. Yeah, we think
I got
so.
a
We think
thousand
it's
YouTube videos, man.
yeah,
So maybe
yep.
about 900.
Yeah, I mean, well, we are monetized day one, so we want people to be able to come day one. And the amount of work it would take for somebody like yourself, a lot of people have YouTube catalogs like that. So, we're thinking about that. And as far as like bringing in other on-chain content, we've actually talked about that as well. The one thing for us right now is like secondary market. We do not support secondary content. So when a creator sells their content, another purchaser can't go undercut them and sell it for less to the next buyer, cutting out the original creator. And this is something we're experimenting with, listening to feedback, and excited to see, what comes out of this. Hoping on best case scenario for creators, of course.
Hmm, nice. Dude, sounds like so with Tree Chat, is it like a startup where you have where you took money from investors and VCs to kind of get you going, or is it just a how's it structured, Dimitri?
Sorry, I was muted. We have no investors. We're bootstrapped. I don't to the I'm gonna not have investors to the extent possible, and um, I think we can do that. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool. Very cool.
yeah. I think VC money has a lot of advantages, but also a lot of disadvantages, and we're focused on building and serving our users, and we don't have to take money, and therefore we don't have to deal with the distractions uh, that VC money comes with. And also we can be pure in our vision. We don't have to we have a vision of how it should work and what it should be, and we have a very tight loop with user feedback, and it's our vision, kind of um, with feedback from users, and that's I think that's the way we
Yeah.
want it.
Well, I think it'll be cool to see what Miss Casey Nicole thinks about this because she has a lot of experience going and dealing with other platforms like this. And I'm really excited to see what she thinks about this because I see her posting on there. I just signed up and how it works. So, you know, yeah,
Yeah, make a post. Make sure to make a post so you can get some up value.
Yeah, I've signed up for both platforms while we've been talking, and they both work really smooth. I can't get my Yours wallet to work with Tree Chat. When I click on it, it just doesn't do anything or take me anywhere. So I don't know if my wallet's actually connected. It just keeps spinning there. So
Okay, I can take a look at that.
yeah, check that out. And the Rad TV, I signed up on that too. That was pretty simple. I found my unique referral code. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us so that we can help you guys grow as we grow. And I signed up for the premium benefits. I wasn't able to get my channel started. It kind of glitched when I filled out all the information to start my channel.
could
On Rad
be.
TV, did it not
Yeah,
start when you hit create?
no, it didn't.
You
And it,
probably didn't put correct URLs in your social handles, and it's an
okay,
indicator problem right now. You probably did not include HTTPS. We're actually discussing that
I
as I
didn't.
say this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, just trying to figure them out. These are really amazing. And I guess you don't get access to all the other content creators unless you're a premium member. Is that what you said?
No, you get access to pretty much anything that anyone makes free. It's if
Oh,
somebody
okay.
makes things available through the premium subscription. Right now, a majority of our content is free. There is quite a bit of premium additional content, but
Mm,
with a free account right now, you can access anything that's not premium or paid creator content.
okay.
And that's across devices. With an account, you can watch, you can download Rad TV apps everywhere and watch, 50 plus live channels. I think it's at like 54 or something right
So,
now.
with all of your connections and all of the companies, like big companies that you guys are connected to, like what is your roadmap for getting BSV to them more and helping to advance this technology? Um, and is
Great
it
question.
micropayments that you pay out in this? Because I could also, that was the other thing when I looked for my
Yeah.
wallet, I could not find the hand cash wallet. It wasn't an option in the wallets.
In the wallets to do what?
Well, it was either Coinbase or I'm not on that page to look at it,
Oh, well, the
but
monetization is you connect monetization um, through individual pieces of content. So you won't see only other way to connect your wallet is to connect a Web3 wallet that is not BSV. So we're not doing payments to subscription based content through BSV because there's no smart contracts. We can't automate it. I mean, we can, but we have to write a script and it's not on chain. So the creators can't take that data with them wherever they go. It's not owned by their wallet, so that's not how we handle that side. But when it comes to getting BSV out to the world, we are, like I said at the top of our conversation, we're not trying to force anything on creators. We are giving them the options and allowing them to see what works best for them. And we believe that the free option that creators can come in and start monetizing day one with a BSV wallet without having to purchase crypto, without having to set up a bunch of wallets and join, go to Coinbase or make a purchase or go to
mm,
another exchange. The easiest on ramp to start monetizing on Rad TV right now is to have a hand cash wallet and then input that wallet information into your monetization. And you are now able to earn
that's what I'm
without
not able to,
anything.
Yeah,
that's what
where
I'm
do you
not
do that
figuring
at? Because
out.
I'm at Connect
Yeah.
Wallet and I don't see hand cash either. I just
Well,
see
you guys aren't
Coinbase
monetizing. You
wallet
guys
and
aren't
Brave.
monetizing content. You're just connecting a wallet to the platform
Oh,
to make purchases at that point. So if you want to
oh,
actually sell content, you need to upload a video. You do that by
okay.
going to your creator studio, and then once you upload a video, you'll be able to walk through the process of monetization, and then
Got
you
it.
can monetize with the three different chains. But connecting a
Okay.
wallet at the front end is just for purchases. So if you go to when you go to radtv.com, the first thing you're shown after when you click the watch tab, you're
Mm-hmm.
taken to on-chain video, and then
Mm,
from there, you can click on any of that content, and then when you're at the video page, the content page itself, connect your wallet there for whatever type of content. Like I'm looking at it right now. I see the same piece of content available on both BSV and base, and then you can choose where you want to buy that based on where the creator made it available, and you just click on that content, connect wallet, and hit purchase. So if you have if it's monetized with BSV and you have hand cash or any other wallet, you just click the buy now button and
mm,
complete the checkout, and then you own that content across all devices. You can log in on PlayStation or Android TV or Apple TV, and you can see when you go to radtv.com and click the watch page, there is a tab that says My Purchases. It's also
mm.
available in the account section. So then anything you've purchased is available across all of our ecosystem on any app as long as you're logged in.
Awesome. Okay. That
Um,
makes
one
sense.
One thing I wanted to say as well, obviously you said about how the experience of BSV being virtually zero fees is obviously super
Yep.
enticing to your business model. I'm just wondering, have you ever thought of, and you very much said you didn't want to sort of publicly lift up any chain over the other ones because
Yeah.
of, playing devil's advocate. Have you ever thought of sort of like introducing BSV in the background? So rather than people coming in and picking base, Ethereum, or BSV, they just pick Rad Cash. And then that Rad
Yeah.
Cash is then used across the platform, which is obviously on BSV because of the zero fees.
Yeah, we've actually explored this, and we're planning on rolling out custodied wallets in early 25. That way, anybody who comes in doesn't need a wallet, and that will be the easiest onboarding process. And we've even thought about just loading a small amount of BSV into a wallet to get creators started. Like that could probably be, a, a dime or a nickel. That would be enough to get them started worth of BSV, and from there they'd be able to do whatever they need on the platform. But yeah, so we're listening to feedback and trying to figure out the best way forward for creators. And right now, there is definitely still some friction with Web3 stuff. I think anybody who's in Web3 right now and really active, if you're paying attention to what Coinbase is doing on base with ETH, it is super convoluted and very confusing to a lot of users. The lexicon they're using is very confusing, and it definitely is causing a lot of hiccups for creators in the like. I have Coinbase Wallet. Oh, I have Coinbase Smart Wallet. Oh, I have Coinbase Web3 Wallet. Well, what the hell does any of those mean? I don't know what they, it's like, I don't, I literally don't. I use this stuff every day. It's integrated. I have every wallet under the sun. I use Coinbase regularly, and I literally have the Coinbase brand guide, and it still doesn't make sense to me of like the way they're choosing these names and stuff. And being a person that's on, I got into Bitcoin in 2011, started buying Bitcoin in 2012, and this is, I would say, the most difficult time to be a new user because there are so many different stories being told and ploys to get people onto different platforms for monetary gain that aren't necessarily in the best interest of the user. And like like I said, the easiest, most straightforward way that we tell creators is get hand cash, you're done. And you can start monetizing right now. And that's way easier than, well, get a wallet and then sign up for Coinbase and then buy some ETH and then make sure you send it on Base Network. Well, what's Base Network? Oh, it's a layer two. Oh, what's a layer two? Oh, now I got to teach them about wallets. Now I got to teach them about transactions. Now, if they send it to the wrong chain, now I got to teach them about bridging. And before you know it, they're like crypto experts because somebody made this convoluted way to like get them onto another chain, and they've literally almost hijacked ETH. And I think this community here that's listening to this knows this all too well of different communities or different business models hijacking tool sets that had different intended purposes. And here we are today. And it's Rad TV's goal is to get out of the way of creators, and we think the best way to do that is custody wallets and load those wallets, allow them to do whatever they want, and then even introduce the potential of when they upload a piece of content, let them have check boxes that just say mint this on these chains, pay this total fee over here on the side, and that way there's one content page with drop down menus that allow any buyer to buy from one page. That way, there's not three different links for three different pieces of content across three chains or five chains or whatever it ends up being. Um, but yeah, these are things we're thinking about right now, and it feels like the industry's starting to figure this stuff out. It honestly, in my personal opinion, not Rad TV opinion, I feel like a lot of this should be solved by a wallet. I don't know why we have 100 wallets out here in the world, and it feels like one smart wallet that actually understands this stuff and um, we would truly have streaming money. I don't think it's a problem of the tech on the blockchain side. I think it's a problem of infrastructure and know-how on the tool side and the product side. I think people aren't really diving into the robustness that could be happening. And I don't know if it's barriers to that happening or what's going on, but the tools are in place. The decentralized markets are in place. DeFi is in place. There's no reason I can't send somebody, I shouldn't be able to send somebody NVIDIA or Bitcoin or Microsoft or MicroStrategy or BSV or Costco hot dog token, whatever it is. I should just be able to send it to you, and that conversion happens as it happens. And if we can't figure that out, I say that the industry is going to be in trouble. But I do think that this will be figured out. I think this is the next step of this space is to have a wallet that actually works across the
Yeah,
board.
definitely need that.
Right now, I have 30 wallets, maybe more.
Yeah. Casey Nicole's got her hand up.
Well, I just loved the hand cash wallet when I was onboarding people, the way that they had that app store that like Rad TV
It's
could be
perfect.
listed right there. It
Yep.
was so perfect. And
Yep.
I just went to lament.io to kind of look at their homepage of how it breaks down the earnings and the micropayment opportunity and the pay-per-view and all that stuff. I just as a user, just like barely playing on your platform would like to suggest maybe a page like this where it kind of breaks down the options that BSV can bring to the table for creators because it's not very clear on your site. But I really love the micropayment opportunities that BSV provides and the pay-per-view for videos and everything that you guys are doing. I just feel like it needs to be a little bit more clear on your site to explain how they could start earning using the hand cash wallet or whatever. There's not a
It's
huge.
documented in our docs
Okay.
pretty very thoroughly, and that's where we send everybody is to docs.radtv.com,
Okay, because
and
I didn't.
everything's in there for monetization, and we walk everybody through how to set up a hand cash wallet, and how to monetize for free there.
Okay, yeah, I was just thinking maybe more on like the homepage on your
Yeah,
on
we
your
actually
opportunity, so it's a little more
Yeah,
like.
yeah, I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
And we just made major changes to radtv.com. If you guys went there, you probably just saw our new website that just went live over like the last, I think, 6 days ago, maybe 7 days
Mhm.
ago. So we're making a lot of changes, and this is a great point. Maybe we should have a creator page that explains each of these side by side and the benefits of it. That's a great feedback. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about
Yeah, and I
Mac?
just.
Go ahead, Casey.
Oh, my last thing is, just are you experiencing any negative feedback from any of the like big Disney and all these people? You said you're working with them, but in my experience, it's that high level of enterprise that's been more in bed with the suppression of BSV. So is that are they open to these conversations as you're bringing this technology to the conversation in these rooms, or?
It's a great question. We find that most people outside of the industry that aren't technically in the blockchain industry don't care. They don't know. Like they don't know any of the names. They don't know any of these storylines. They don't know any of this stuff that we all feel here is important or part of our journey. No executives at Sony know any of these names. That they care about, does the blockchain work and can we get our money? And it's we talk about suppression of the availability of it. It's tough. The thing we're hearing right now is that users can't buy BSV, and it's difficult to buy it. They don't know where to buy it. Their credit cards are denied, and that's a problem that we've seen for 2 years now. And we would love to solve that and make it much easier to get their hands on that. But from our perspective, we don't hear any complaint. Like that to us feels like industry noise. That's irrelevant because the tech speaks for itself. There doesn't need to be a huge story told about why it works, just like we don't need to be told why the internet works. Like if you're trying to sell somebody the internet today, I don't what world are they living in where that's not important. Like I just got groceries delivered and Amazon packages showed up this morning, all from the power of the internet. And I don't think about it at all. And I think that's where we are. We're in a position right now where Sony looks at us as a leader. Sony just rolled out their own layer two on Ethereum called Sonium, Soneium. They're in beta right now, and Sony's rolling out their own blockchain. Why are they doing that? Because they are a multi-billion-dollar, $50 billion company worldwide, and they are not going to get in bed with any of these blockchains. They would rather take on their own lawsuits. They're not going to be at the whim of other producers or other developers. They are going to be in total control of their stack, just like they always have been, which it makes it very difficult to work with Sony because they are in such control. So like, people think, oh, content's easy or making a streaming platform is easy. It's 2024. No, it's very difficult. And like, we talked about earlier about storing things on chain. People that want to store things on chain don't technically always don't understand what it actually takes to deliver a video file to a consumer. So when any consumer, any creator comes into Rad TV and uploads a video, we have to make that video available for every device that we are available on. That can be 9, 10, 11, 12 different files, depending on where we're putting them and what type of file that is. We support, like I said, every video type. And then you have to work with different players, different encodings. So on our side, when somebody uploads a video, we have to make a bunch of different copies of that. And to be able to store that in different places is very expensive. So like when you talk about like that one, I brought up the one file that's 4K, 8 hours, 800 gigabytes. We have to make multiple copies of that and store it. So if that's what we were doing on chain for BSV, that's what we would be storing is multiple 800 gigabyte files for one file that one creator uploaded. That immediately implodes the idea of like how big a blockchain can be. Like that is monstrous. And then you start talking about like a 3 hour long podcast that's in 4K, or even they're experimenting with 8K on some things now. Those files get to be insane. So the way we're looking at it is, we are not playing the game of do this, use this. This is our favorite. We are literally just giving creators the tools, and then when they ask the questions, we give them the best answers that are for the best answer for their specific use case and their needs. It's never about us. It's never about pushing somebody else's agenda. When a creator comes to me and says, "Hey Cam, what's the best way to monetize?" I ask them, "What is your goal?" And if they say my goal is to not spend a bunch of money monetizing, the first answer we're giving them is BSV. Well, you can do it right now for free. And that resonates with creators in a way that no story ever will. And if that doesn't win, if people are willing to pay fees to use another network, or they want to cut themselves out of earnings because of their ideological perspective, we don't have the footprint or the time and energy to be on a religious journey to try to sell them on a new ideology. We are really about serving them where they are and where they are in their journey, not dragging them to a new place that serves us or serves anyone. It's really every connection I make. First, and any creators here, I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple here that I spoke to on calls, but they know the first thing I say when I talk to a creator is, what is your goal for your content? What is your goal as a creator? What are you doing right now, that and how can Rad TV help you? Not how can you help Rad TV or how can we get more users on this network? It's really just 100% focused on creators, and we believe that's the right path forward for us at the moment. So, you know, anybody that's listening, you want free transactions, the only option is BSV. That's everywhere on chain. I don't know any other chain that's offering that right now. I've never seen it anywhere, and it's pretty unique situation to even tell people. I mean, Tree Chain said the same thing. No fees. They eat the fees on both sides. That's unbelievable, and that probably is the future. Why are we? Why right now we're talking about 3 or 4% for credit card processors, but you're not talking about the small percentage that is being eaten away from mining transactions, and that conversation will change. This is a race to zero, and BSV's already won. So what's next? Now we just build the tools that are available and show the people the different pathways that they can take. And we believe that eventually they choose zero fees, fastest transactions, easiest onboarding experience, and that is BSV, and it speaks for itself.
Nice. Okay. Is there, Reno, Craig, BSV Panama, Riley, anybody else that wants to jump? Alex, if you guys want to jump up here, feel free to request up here and join the conversation.
Just want to say again, thank you to having us on today. This has been an awesome
Yeah, dude.
conversation.
Thank
Very,
you, Cameron.
very excited to learn about Tree Chat. The fact you guys have Twitch ingested in data is crazy to me. Like I have to check you out now.
That's super
Um,
cool.
but thank you guys very much. And anybody listening, my name's Cameron. I'm head of community at Rad TV. Our DMs are open here. My personal DMs are open on Discord. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out.
Where are you located, Cameron?
I'm in Ohio, the great state of Ohio. I was in California the last from 2006 to 2021 in Southern California. Started in the Valley. Last 7 years we spent in Huntington Beach, and just moved back to my home state of Ohio, which I love more than anywhere else in the
Now,
country.
are you the same guy that's been at the conferences for Rad TV that spoke up on stage?
No, that was Tony, our CEO, and our CMO at the time was Brooklyn Eric. They both did Dubai, and they did Dubai I think 2 years ago, and then London the last 2 years. But no, it was not me, and I look forward to going to a BSV event. It's um, I I always share this story whenever I talk about BSV, but like I said that group chat earlier, I told Tree Chat I just dropped a link to Tree Chat into the group chat. I have like I think the coolest BSV story ever is we got into all of us were into Bitcoin for years, started connecting with people online, and right now my 12 best friends, the men in my life, I met every one of them through BSV, and
What?
very interesting the way it happened. And like my son's godfathers, I met online through BSV, and then we started meeting in person, and we started going to like different cities and hanging out with each other. And these men are some of the best men in the world. There, and I would say definitely epic people in the BSV community, and the way that they move is very interesting to me compared to other communities. It's very rarely about number go up, and it's always been about the tech, and that's what we connected on. And we of course appreciate number go up, but to us there's much more meaningful things that need to take place for blockchain to get where we envision it, and that all led us to BSV. And slowly but surely, that's like the crew that formed in 2017, 2018, and then since 2018 and now, we've kind of just forged an amazing friendship. But I've met some of the best people in my life and my best friends through BSV. It's incredible. I have many, many, many good things to say about BSV, and BSV has brought a ton of blessings to my life.
Dude, that's great, man. That's amazing. Well, yeah, really inspiring to hear that you met some good people in the BSV community. So, okay, we got Craig Mason up on stage with us. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say, man. He, the most censored man in
Hi,
BSV.
Craig.
Hey, Gavin, thanks. Thanks for hosting the space. KC2 and Rad TV and treechat, great to hear more about your platforms. I've used treechat a bit, and it's really fun. It does, it's filled. I know it's not the same thing as Flash, but it's kind of filled that gap of on chain and content sharing ideas, and a place for BSVers to do that and reward each other. And what you were talking about, Dimitri, with treechat and paying people, or giving people value for the ideas they have, I think it's exactly what we need. You answered a question someone asked about, how is this different than the current capitalist model we have? And you pointed out that we're not paying advertisers now, we're paying each other peer to peer. And I just wanted to add that is not uh, it's not an unproven concept. There's a total proof of concept of this. It works really well. You could see it on Twitch. You could see it was such a small platform compared to everything else, but you could see there was some posts, like Daniel Kravitz had a post that I think it was something like Bitcoin without freedom is not valuable. I didn't say it exactly how he said it, but I think he made over a whole Bitcoin from that, or something like that, a whole BSV. And the thing that's interesting, especially, is not just that you're cutting out the advertisers, but this is such a better way, not just in principle, but it's more lucrative once people adopt this for creators to get paid this way. The CPM, cost per thousand impressions that you're going to get paid is going to end up being so much higher if you're putting out valuable content. And also, it rewards people that put out actually valuable content instead of things that just get eyeballs on it. Sometimes I find myself sharing things on Instagram or other places where it's the point to say, look how ridiculous this is. And, it gets shared a lot, and that creates an incentive for people to do ridiculous stuff and create things that aren't of value just to get eyeballs on it, because the advertisers don't care. They're happy to put their ads right next to it, no matter what it is, because it's kind of not relevant to what it is. But for you to shell out money to support that, out of principle, you don't want to do that. You see someone doing something ridiculous, you may share it, you may have your eyeballs glued to it, but it's not something that I'm going to go, oh yeah, sure, I'd be glad to pay a penny to that, or 2 cents or 10 cents or whatever it ends up being. Bitcoin, as you pointed out also, Dimitri, it allows for this whole new part of the tail of distribution of things that just couldn't be monetized before. But that's that I think you explained already very well. But the incentives and the proof of concept are there to totally revolutionize how information is adjusted, and it's proven. We've seen this on Twitch. I mentioned the other day when we were on a space that Daniel Kravitz and I had a show on a platform that didn't really go anywhere. The platform didn't, and the show didn't either. But the cost was 10 cents to watch a stream, which that's then $100 per 1,000 viewers. There's no way you're getting anywhere close to that with any other current monetization, and people were happy to pay it. So the key will be, I think, and this is probably obvious, but getting people to use the platform. So the main thing, actually, no, I was going to ask you a question, but I also wanted to point out one other thing I thought was really, really important or interesting that you said, which is that with all the AI tools, it's going to be so easy for people to be creative and to have the technical aspects of creativity done for them. That's not exactly what you said, but the idea is that with AI, you can make all kinds of stuff quickly that before would take a lot of technical expertise and a lot of time. And so you said that really it's going to come down to having good taste in a lot of cases. And I've heard one other artist artists I know say the same thing. Who I really, he's just such a genius. Some people might know Joey Moore, but he had a show on YouTube and stuff. He and various other places, but he said the same. He's actually from Boston as well. But that is what it's going to come down. I think it's just an interesting observation when you really think about creation and creativity. Is that a lot of it does come down to good taste. But I'm curious to know, Dimitri, what I was getting back to previously is, I think that tree chat is so cool, and there's such a demand for that amongst BSVers, and I think it will only increase outside of BSV as whatever uh, madness going on with all the rest of crypto comes to a logical conclusion, and people actually do seek out peer-to-peer payments and on-chain creativity and things like that. But I think your biggest competitor is if Elon Musk does the same thing to X. So I'm curious to know if you've thought of that. What tree chat's position in the marketplace will be next to X if he does go the way of micropayments on X, which I don't know if he will. That's highly speculative, but curious to know how you think that fits into the landscape with X and all the changes Elon's making, if he goes that direction or otherwise. What's different about it? But I'll step down, or I'll yield back. But thanks guys for having the space, and for you guys for coming on and talking about your
Nice.
product.
So we'll stay up with us for a minute. We got another question or somebody else coming up, but go ahead, Cameron. You're going to answer that or respond.
Well, I was gonna let Tree go and then respond to his question. I'll go after Tree.
Yeah, Craig. So there's a lot there, but I'll try to get to all of it. But
I just figured Dimitri chat. That's pretty good.
So as far as X, there's always, like, no matter what you do, you can always point at a big company that's in some ways competing with you, and what if they do this, and I don't have an exact prediction of what will happen. I think that if X does micropayments, it will come down to like what are they using? Like, are they using BSV? And if not, then the story is going to be the story that I told you earlier, which is that with BSV, we're trading the reserve asset. So like, it's just a superior way of measuring things with money, essentially. And so that will be one advantage. Another advantage will be the tree structure of the platform that I think is more conducive to having deep conversation and finding things and organizing the knowledge that you share. So I think that we have enough. This is actually an interesting segue to kind of one of the challenges that tree chat faces is that it's not the same as like X. So like, or Twitch even. Like Twitch was much more of a Twitter clone, in my opinion. And tree chat has some novel concepts about the navigation and the way that you should be moving around the information. And because of that, it has a little bit of a learning curve, but that also means that the people that go through that learning curve, that they'll be able to appreciate the powers that that this gives you. And that kind of is a moat against X doing micropayments, because it is a different experience. And in fact, I always, when people sign up, and I did this with Gavin and Casey, I always share the navigation video. I say, welcome, and I share the navigation video. And so I think that that's anyone who signs up, the first thing you should probably do is post anything, just so you can, the community can see, the audience can see your post and maybe send you some up value so you feel what that feels like, and it's a good feeling. And then check out this video, because it's gonna kind of just, instead of coming back on the fourth time, which everyone does, they come back on the fourth time and finally stay, it will just like make it make sense much faster. And I encourage Gavin and Casey Nicole to check that video out. But essentially, the idea here is that what we want to do is we want to virtue scroll and not doom scroll. And this is exactly what you mentioned, is that like the advertisers don't care why you're spending time on the platform. So like they're measuring attention, and how much attention they're trying to suck your attention out of you, essentially. And so, what if we had an experience where you actually it actually made more sense to spend less time on the platform. So you get the knowledge that you want, but you up value more because you appreciate that, and you actually you're not captured. it's a completely different paradigm of compensating the creators for the content. It's where, instead of, for example, another example is X. I believe they measure the amount of replies to boost content. And so when do people reply? It's oftentimes when they're angry, or when something they didn't like happened. So what happens is people's feeds basically get corrupted with like the most triggering content possible. And that's why it's called doom scrolling, because they're like, you get into this like crazy sad state where you're just now getting, the algorithm is feeding you content that is not good for your psychological health. There's been a lot written about this, and that's because the incentives are wrong. And so here, the incentives are, very aligned. The creator posts, the audience either likes it or not. If they like it, they up value. You make money from, your insights and the knowledge that you share and the entertainment that you bring, and you're rewarded for that. And you make more of that content, and then the audience gets to express their appreciation for that content. And then we make money with the amount of Bitcoin moving through the system. And so we want good content that gets rewarded to show up. And so everyone is kind of on the same page, and it's just a breath of fresh air a little bit compared to other platforms. And yeah, you're right. We're like, the challenge is growing that up, is blowing that up and getting to the scale of other networks. And I think that we'll be able to do that because we have a lot of advantages compared to other social networks.
Yeah, nice.
One last thing I want to say is, something that Cameron touched on with the Bitcoin community. Like, if the way that I see it is, the BSV community is an extremely interesting community because they're so like contrarian in a good way, and
knowledgeable.
they it's, if you're building an information market and maybe something that is going to train a future AI, that's a good community to seed that project. Because it's a very discerning community, and it's a very I don't know what the right word is, but like strong, like anti-psyop community, I think. And so that's a great community to kind of
based and opinionated.
Yeah, exactly, and not afraid of the controversy. And I think that's it's a very good way to seed a project like this. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but I think that was a lot of it.
Well, this is, so it sounds like a lot of the people that like Greg Maxwell and Arsene Van Pelt, they go on my channel and they say these very, very mean and nasty things about me, and so it sounds like that's not going to happen here on this tree chat, probably. I don't think so.
They would never bend the knee to go on a BSV platform and say something.
No.
It'd be too much proof of concept. But yeah, thanks, treechat. I appreciate your response there. And one thing I appreciate, we said Rad TV about the BSV community, or maybe that was you saying it, treechat. But it's very unique. Like you said, I've made a lot of great friends here. And one thing I especially like about it is that you can bring up counterpoints or question things, and it's met with a logical, reasonable response so often. So I appreciate you answering that. Thanks.
Okay, we got, looks like Abo Mac, you got your hand up. What? Abo Mac. And then we had Eldis AI as well join the stage. You were going to ask something as well. So if you want to, who wants to go first? You guys are both muted. What about Alex Favell, my man up in freaking Rotterdam? How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not bad. I just had a couple of questions for treechat. Thanks for the space. It's been very good. Have you considered to effectively bring more people to the platform? Because I don't see very many links from treechat to X, which is where I spend most of my time on social media, just because if the plan is to get the message out, we need to be where people are, or devise of a way to get people to where we are. And as a founder myself, I've actually been through the struggles of trying to design a system to make that happen. And then implementing it is another challenge completely. But I was kind of thinking advertising works very well, and it's what people are used to, and you kind of capture stuff via cookies, and you create more of a personal experience for people. Have you considered adding advertising to accounts that don't have a balance of BSV or something, so that they can still provide value? Maybe you split the revenue with them from the advertising for using the platform in the first place, and then they, would hopefully contribute to upvaluing and stuff like that.
So by advertising, do you mean like referrals? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm more talking about like Google AdWords and stuff, because referrals are incredibly difficult to implement yourself. But I don't know whether you've actually got that running yet.
So I think that we'll get maybe eventually to the advertising. I just think that right now, actually, a more interesting approach. It's just, again, we're so early in our in the journey here that and we just kind of found our we just solidified our direction here somewhat recently, like months, not years. And so we probably, before like advertising, we probably have other steps that we can take. But one of those steps is to be more seen on X, and we're going to have a lot of X integrations rolling out. So for example, I know you guys have seen Twitch.that, this kind of functionality. We're going to have treechat. And so we also have some ideas about like updating, letting X creators know that their content is being upvalued on treechat. So when people share their content on treechat and are getting upvalued, we're going to notify the creators of that content on X. And so that's going to create a little bit of FOMO, hopefully, and like let people know, like, why are you posting just on X when you could be making Bitcoin for the same content, for the same amount of effort on treechat. And we're also going to have integrations like being able to post from treechat to X, and these kinds of ideas. So we have a lot of kind of things coming down the pipe that are going to spread the news, spread the good word.
Yeah, sounds great. Cheers.
Right on. Okay, Eldest AI, you got your hand up.
Hey everyone, Eldest AI here. I had a question for Rad TV. I saw his project first a couple days ago. Really caught my eye. I guess my questions are, what kind of costs do you have to offset to make the hosting and distribution of the video content on the platform viable? And then where are you specifically in the integration of AR, VR experiences? Because we're working on some projects there. And just as an AI company that isn't necessarily crypto first, we're looking for new ways to advertise our products that are, in real estate and healthcare, supply chain, and we're starting to look at programs like this as ways to get the word out. So, would love to learn about, the viability.
Great question. Thanks for asking. As far as how are we able to sustain it and deliver this service across the board, as I said earlier, we've been in business over 10 years, and we were the world's first user platform for VR specific video content as a company called Little Star in 2013, 2014. That actually gave us a foundation that has set us up for great success moving forward, that we have a very large subscriber base that pays us monthly in order to use our tool sets. And I sometimes refer amongst my friends like Rad TV is like the Joe Rogan of streaming platforms. It's like, it depends what you know us for, why you know us, and you might not know that we do another thing that we do spectacularly well. So like Joe hosts, UFC, people know him for that. He hosts comedy, he has a podcast, but you might know him in all these different things. And then you find out like, oh, he was the Fear Factor guy. And you're like, oh, I know all these things. I just didn't know it was the same thing. We kind of do the same thing. We are what I consider to be the world's greatest media hub. We support UPnP, DLNA. We support RSS feeds. We support side loading on most devices, so you can watch your content through Rad whether that's through a media hub server like Plex or Jellyfin or Kodi or Emby, or you can watch your own content streamed from your own hard drive. So you can, on PlayStation, you can't watch Blu-ray movies. That's, crazy that users can't watch their Blu-rays on their PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2. But with Rad TV, you can. You just need to rip that file and load it into Rad, and now you can actually watch that content again. So we provide a lot of services that have set us up for success. And today, opening up our platform to creators definitely is an added expense and hurdle for us, but we view it as the way forward. We think creator content is going to explode in a way the world that we literally believe nobody can predict what's coming. This is like Tony always says, our CEO Tony Mugavaro. He's here on X. Follow him. He always engaging, and he's in our Discord talking with anybody. So if anybody wants to have a chat directly with our CEO, you can do it very easily. So we are setting up um, a future for creators that we believe is founded on our ability to maintain this business. And I know people on the space feel the same way I do. I remember when Twitch went away. I remember when Money Button went away. I know all the things that left. I know how much time and money I spent there. I remember I've watched countless other projects do the same thing. If they pop up, they get a user base and then they disappear. And that's very hurtful for creators, especially as a creator myself. It's one thing to say I uploaded the first content on chain, not if that content doesn't last, not if there's, not if I have to be saving it myself and I have to save all the links and now I'm organizing this content that I uploaded. That's not what creators want to do. Creators want to create. I don't want to be building a database of my links and where my content lives and things like that. I just want it to live and be on a platform where people can access it. So you asked about AR and VR. Today, right now, you can go to radtv.com, set up as a creator, and start up.
Cameron, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I just have to get off this call now because
Oh no, fine. Go ahead, Dimitri. Yes, Dimitri. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for the space. Gavin, Scott, thank you guys so much. Yeah, definitely check out Tree Chat. Make one post and feel the power of up value. Appreciate you all. Have a good one.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Thanks, Dimitri. Yeah, so AR, VR, we support it today. We support VR today. We support volumetric video. We support holograms. We support 180 and 360. If you're looking to upload as a creator, love to chat with you. Our DMs are open. Happy to help you get started. And if you have some bigger ideas for content or some bigger pieces, happy to set up a phone call to collaborate and see, what that launch would look like and what your goals are for the content. And see if we can help you reach them.
Can
Nice.
I ask real quick if you are doing anything with Rock Wallet or if you had any opportunities to maybe put an integration on your homepage of that so people can access BSV easier?
Actually, Rock Wallet's gained a ton of traction over the past year, and we did have a conversation with somebody about Rock Wallet when they rolled out some new fiat purchases, and we had a conversation about integrating them. But at the moment, we do just have the hand cash, and I haven't heard any plans from our devs or CEO to integrate additional BSV wallets. But is Rock Wallet the new king in town? Is Rock Wallet what we should be doing?
Well, I definitely love using them to purchase and swap. So that's
Are you
my
in the States?
go-to. I am. I'm in Missouri.
And what kind of card are you using to purchase, if you don't mind sharing that?
Just a debit card or ACH.
From your bank?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's super simple.
when I tried to buy with Rock Wallet several months ago, I couldn't get any card. I tried 13 or 14 cards and couldn't get any of my cards to work.
That is the bank. When I first set up my account too, your institution is the one doing that. It's not Rock Wallet, but
Okay.
eventually you can get it figured out and it doesn't continue to happen.
Okay.
But yeah, I just I love that wallet. It's super simple to use. It's the one I really get everybody started with, and then branch them into hand cash from there after they have some.
I see. Very cool. Yeah, well, I'll bring that up to our devs and our CEO and see what they think. But we're always keeping our eyes and ears open to new tools and what the community is using most. That's, like I said, that's where we want to go, is where the community is already.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Also, from a European side and a British side as well, because Rock Wallet doesn't really work in Britain, you can look at Centi. You're able to purchase on Centi via euros. and international bank transfers. So that's also a tool for anyone looking to buy in Europe or UK.
Cool.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
Well, just one quick plug here for the Rock Wallet. They are doing a giveaway right now. So if you go to their page or my page, I have reposted it, and you verify your Rock Wallet account, you can have a chance to win $500 in BSV. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that likes to win things. If you do have a Rock Wallet account, you can see if you can enter that giveaway.
Can I do a quick plug real quick?
Sure.
All right, Eldest AI. We help small businesses and entrepreneurs build out your next software solution. So whether you need a new website, whether you're working on a crypto project, whether you want to get started with AI agents and automating workflows, I've got proven experience in the Fortune 100 and top consulting firms. I'm doing this for those clients as well as small businesses. And the magic of it is we charge typically between 10 to 20% of what the normal quotes are, and we deliver about 10 times faster. So we are cracked, so to speak, in terms of our AI setup, and we're using that to really empower small business owners, entrepreneurs, people in the crypto space who are out there building every day and looking to be on the bleeding edge of technology. So if you're interested in getting a project made and you've gotten a quote for, let's say, 50,000, we can hook you up for 5,000. So send us a DM, check out our website. You can maneuver through all of our different products by clicking on the gemstones. If anything looks nice to you, we also have a white labeling service of which you can buy and fully license and use any of our solutions. You can even pay in crypto starting here at the beginning of the year. So in January, we're going to be able to sell our software for you to use with the full rights to start making money, deploy to your own dApps, and anything else you can dream. So check us out, Eldest AI. And you can also find us at moonshineai.com.
Thank you so much for sharing. Gavin, are you
Yeah, I'm up. We
having?
got somebody
Okay,
else
good.
that just added Jim up on stage. So, Jim, you're up, dude.
Yeah, hi guys. No, thanks for hosting a space and that. I've never speak on it. I only ever listen. But I've just, I'm obviously in the UK as well. But I just wanted to let you guys know that the only way I find that I can purchase BSV is I've got a wallet, Exodus wallet, and although they don't sell BSV on there, what you can do is buy something else, like buy Litecoin or buy something else, and then you can swap it for BSV. And that's the only way I have managed to buy any recently because, like you say, it's very difficult to get hold of at a minute. But if anyone's struggling in the UK, then that's how I would recommend doing it: is getting the Exodus wallet, buying something else, and then swapping it for BSV. Just thought I'd share that just as another option.
Nice. And go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, just going to say that that is what I was doing actually. Funnily, you say that until I found Senti. I was literally swapping out coins for BSV, but the problem you'll find is they've got a lot of confirmations needed, and so sometimes it will take quite a long time. And obviously, the fees for swapping can be ridiculous sometimes. Whereas with Senti, I use a Revolut account so that I've got an already euros account on there, and then I believe it's like 1% fee. So it might be a lot cheaper for you, Jim, if you do check that out and that way of doing it. But yeah, that's exactly how I was doing it before as well.
Scott, can I ask how you spell that? That wallet you're using?
CENTI, Senti.
I got to bring on Ben and do a space with him because they're like one of the most cutting edge companies out there. He's got his own stable coin in the Swiss franc, and their onboarding process is unbelievable. It's a merchant provider company out in Switzerland, and it's just a lot of people don't know about it. So yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
they are good. They're good. And also another thing that obviously a lot of people don't talk about is just selling of BSV as well. Like you are able actually to sell BSV on there, and that's via banking Swiss bank time. So say for instance, let's say you sold a BSV at 4 p.m. UK time. Well, that's out of banking hours in Switzerland, so that's not going to clear until the next working day. But if you do it at, say, I don't know, 11 p.m. at night, usually you wake up and you find it's already cleared. So that is pretty good, and it's the lowest fees that I've
Yeah,
found so far and the cheapest way of
it's
actually
definitely
doing it.
no. I
So
found that as well. I found when I it was the cheapest way I ever was able to get it. Now I started getting 2022. The fees were even cheaper, dude. They were super. Now they're still cheap, but they're still the cheapest. So hey, also, if you're in the UK, Jim, tomorrow there's gonna be a court case with Craig Wright's gonna be in court for the contempt motion. It's gonna be at 10:30 a.m. UK, and we got Riley Rui de Silva is going, and they'll be reporting on the. And is it Jim? Who else? Scott?
the two people in chat at the moment, we've got Jack BSV1. He's going to be attending the court case and hopefully writing down some stuff for us. And we've also got Riley Cyrus. He actually attended the last, not the main court case, but the directions hearing. And I think we're yet to hear from Jack, but Riley did a great job. I really was happy with everything he done. So yeah, those two guys, and obviously I spoke to Rui earlier. I believe Rui's going to try and he did have a prior engagement that he was involved in, but I believe he's maybe going to be try and swap that around so he can
He
attend the
told me
court
he's
case.
going. So yeah, Rui said
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going. Yeah,
he
it's
just
happening. And so if you guys
DMs
go,
minutes ago.
Jim, if you're there, be sure to bring Craig out. We want to talk to Craig as well once he gets out of the hearing, and get him on the space. And, if he can, I know, he should be able to talk. So I want to see we want to hear from him and see what the heck's going on because, also, you want to keep him away from Arthur Van Pelt and let David Pierce and the judge hang out together. They're going to be busy doing their thing with Judge Miller. So, they'll be making fun of Craig over there with the judge. So we want to talk to him.
So that's at 4:30 Central Time in the morning. Are we gonna host a
Well,
space and like we did for the Copa trial or
well,
during it
Uh,
or
well, the one thing I would say, obviously, is in the morning. They likely will be doing the same provisions they did for the main trial, where they're giving Craig little breaks for his Asperger's or ASD, but likely the main break for lunch won't happen until say about 12:30, 1 o'clock ish. So it might be a little bit later for you guys, probably around the 6:30 a.m. mark, which I know it's still pretty awful, but at least it's not at least it's not 4:30 in the morning. And obviously, I've spoke with Riley and others, and I'm sure they're more than happy to do a space afterwards as well, so that if anybody is a late riser and they need their sleeps in, then at least you can catch it all after the trial, after the.
yeah, if you like sleeping in past 2:30 in the morning, then don't worry about it.
hey, I got up every day at 4:30 for that Copa trial and it was not a problem. I enjoyed it thoroughly
Yeah.
listening
Well,
in
I'm
as
thinking
they
maybe
were
we do that then because it's at 10:30 a.m. And I'm 8 hours behind that though. So that's 2:30 a.m. for me. So
Mm.
that might be a little early and 2:30.
Just pushing it.
Yeah.
4:30 is almost 5 a.m. You can get up and meditate, you're good.
But I could probably do like maybe 4:30 for sure, like 4:30 a.m. my time, which would be about 12:30. Is that what time they have
Uh,
lunch there, Scott? If he starts at 10:30 a.m., what time do they do the lunch break?
Yeah, they're usually doing the lunch anywhere from 12 till 1. It usually depends on the amount of information given. So there's been a few times when the lunch overran because of they just wanted to finish off their last point before moving on to a secondary point. But the same is true earlier. So Riley or Jack may actually find that at your time at like 5 a.m. they could be. It really much depends on what's actually said in the court.
Yeah, I could do that, Casey. I could do like a 4:30 or 5 a.m. start, and then we just
Yeah, it was a little different because they were, we had the live stream of the last court case. I don't
Yeah,
think we
there's no
have
live
access to
stream.
that this time, but it's still totally willing
Are we
to.
are we sure that there's no live stream? Because this is
There should be. It should
We're
be.
not sure. At least we don't know that. I don't have access. I could actually email that court.
yeah. Email the same
Um,
address from the same case.
no, no, it's a different court. It's not the same court. It's the Royal Courts
Mm.
of Justice. It's not the Rolls Building anymore. So you
Oh, they
might have
moved it
to
from the Rolls
email.
building?
Yeah, it's in the Royal Courts of Justice, Court 72, 1030 with Justice Mellor. It's a type of committal, and the case number is IL 2021 000019.
So do you
So
know
if you
where
need to look
Tufty
it
and,
up on
and Pierce are going to be tonight, and Miss Justice Miller, where are they having their dinner at tonight?
who knows? Who knows?
Is Adam
Somewhere
Mack going to
that,
be there too this time?
yeah, Adam back at the back of the room.
What about Hoddlenot? He's usually there. He's yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
They
But
got Arthur
I know
Van Pelt
that,
going this time. He's going to be there now, right? So Artie Van Pelt's got.
well,
I heard he'll be outside. He's got a box, a cardboard box that he's getting. I saw a picture, a meme about that. Something about.
yeah. But regardless of all these idiots, at least we've got two good guys there that are going to be attending with Riley Cyrus and Jack BSV. So
Oh, Alex,
um,
you got your hand up. You want to do something in the morning on the space? I know you were. If there's any.
I had my hand up just to ask about the thing. I'll see whether I can do a space. I can't guarantee it though. If someone else sets it up, then I'll be there. But I don't know what I'm necessarily going to be doing.
What was your hand up about?
I can
Whether
set up the
there's live stream
space.
or not.
Oh, about whether it's live streaming, so you don't know? Or?
Yeah, but that was already answered. It was left up from a previous thing.
Well, I do know that I don't know if this is obviously a civil matter still because they've changed the courts, and I do know in the UK you can't live stream criminal cases. That's why we have those funny drawings, quick sketch artists in the newspapers. So I'm not sure if it will be live stream. I would imagine it probably isn't live stream because of it is
Does that mean
sorry.
that Mella's going to be in a wig? You're going to have to tell us whether Mella's in a wig.
Maybe. Who knows? But
A
I'm
clown
happy to
wig.
set up a space. I can set up a space tomorrow, even if that's a case of doing like what. Wow, my God, that's
Well, what I
awful.
was thinking is you read like you could read if you find out what Jack BSV is writing, then that's what Alex did last time. He was reading, or no, actually, you were reading this thing live, right, Alex? How were you doing?
No. Last time because we had the live stream, I was just
Yeah.
trying to say things as they said them, which is actually a lot more difficult than just reading a teleprompter thing.
Yeah, obviously, I can set up a space similar to what Zach was doing, where just have the space running for the entire time through the court case. Chat about this and that during the times when Riley or Jack are disposed in the court, and then obviously when they come out, if they can sort of in the courtroom jump on a space, if it's 15 minutes break and they just want to quickly say, we'll obviously VIP them straight up to speaking and get everybody to be quiet so they can let us know what's actually going on. I think the way Zach ran it last time was just excellent. It was really, really good how he ran it, I think the spaces were going on for like 8 hours, 9 hours or something. So